Good afternoon, you're watching the Midday News. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. The top stories: confusion erupts as census applicants overwhelm ZAMSTATS, and Petauke DC confronts civil servant, and government urged not to employ a UPND CADRE as chief electoral officer.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Rain Glow, your smart irrigation partner.
The Midday News in detail. A teacher at Kangambwa Primary School in Petauke District of Eastern Province attempted to defy the order by government that all civil servants should not apply for any census jobs. The named teacher applied with hopes that he will get away with it. However, when his name was called, members of the public recognized his identity, causing commotion until the District Commissioner Martha Mulenga intervened. Let's look at this. What started as a normal day with the District Commissioner in Petauke District, Eastern Province, Martha Mulenga, launching the start of the aptitude test for the recruitment of supervisors and enumerators at Petauke Boarding Secondary School, turned out to be unpleasant at some point. This was due to non-adherence to the directive by government that civil servants and all those already in employment should not apply for the advertised jobs. However, a teacher at Kangambwe Primary School almost got away with it as he secretly applied and was called to attempt the test. At the mention of his name, members of the public realized he was a civil servant, causing commotion among the people who wanted to attempt the test.
Mr. Mkandawile, I advised in the first place teachers, nurses, civil servants that have been employed by government, please can we leave chance for the youths that are not employed. It is very categorically said you are on a salary. You want to deprive your fellow youths who are not. Look at the camera. Look at the camera. You want to deprive those that are not benefiting anything from government. Later on, this will be saying, President Hakainde is not looking after us. But it is you who is not helping the president. I announced there, don't say you didn't listen. You were there, Mr. Mkandawile. I came in here and I said, you didn't stand up, not until. Mind you, don't argue with me. Don't argue with me. Which school do you come from? I'm sorry. Which school do you come from? Where we belong. Which school? Tell me the school. If you don't tell me, I'll call Debs. I am with Debs. Tell me the school. Mary, thank you.
District Census Coordinator disclosed that the process aims at recruiting about 541 supervisors and enumerators for the exercise.
They have come to attend the aptitude test, and those who will pass the aptitude test are going to be selected to be enumerators and supervisors. So the total number of people we are expecting to choose from here is about 551. He said everything in place.
Meanwhile, Petauke District Commissioner Martha Mulenga has urged the Census Coordinating Committee to work professionally during the recruitment process of the 2022 census exercise to help the country achieve the purpose of the exercise.
His Excellency President Hakainde Hichilema has put it very clear that only those that are not in informal employment are the ones to take part in the census. In order for them to have some empowerment, if someone is a civil servant, please, that we spoke very clear in the morning, they were not supposed to take part because they are already empowered by government.
The 2022 census marks the sixth national population exercise of Zambia since its independence in 1964, with the previous censuses being conducted in 1969, 1980, 2000 and 2010. Sharon Kalimbola, Camnet News. Alliance for Community Action Executive Director Laura Miti says the appointment of the Chief Electoral Officer at the Electoral Commission of Zambia should be done without political alignment in a vacancy that has been created by leaving of Patrick Shandano. In a statement issued on her official Facebook page, Ms. Miti states that appointing a person of integrity at ECZ is important as it is central to the electoral democracy and running of peaceful and credible elections. Ms. Miti adds that there is need for Zambia to emulate other countries like South Africa, who have an independent electoral system, hence winning the trust of all stakeholders, including the opposition. She says appointing a person who is competent and independent is paramount to ensuring credibility of the Commission. She was reacting to a statement from ECZ that the Commission has entered a mutual agreement to separate with Mr. Shindano effective 7th August 2022. Mr. Shindano joined the Electoral Commission of Zambia in 2019. In other news, Caritas Zambia Executive Director Gabriel Maplanga has urged churches in the country to avoid being used by politicians to propel their political agenda. In an interview, Father Maplanga notes that recent happenings in the country do not paint a good light on the body of Christ, as the church is supposed to maintain a neutral stance. On Sunday, 31st July 2022, former Kavushi Member of Parliament Bowman Lusambo, who recently lost his seat in an election petition, used the Holy Cross Catholic Church in Kavushi to declare his intentions to recontest the seat.
Churches in Zambia have always played the role of offering national guidance and ensuring that peace prevails in the country through offering necessary counsel. The past few years have seen a number of churches taking political sides and giving prophecies in favor of certain candidates. These acts were, however, condemned by many, especially after the prophecies did not come to pass during the 12th August 2021 general elections. 11 months later, the country is again in a political atmosphere after a number of seats belonging to members of parliament have been nullified by the courts based on various anomalies. This saw former Kavushi MP Bowman Lusambo, who is one of the affected, going fully political at the Holy Cross Catholic Church in Kavushi constituency on Sunday, where he gave political messages in church. This has irked Caritas Zambia Executive Director Gabriel Maplanga, who says the church should endeavor to remain neutral. Father Maplanga was speaking to Camnet News.
When it comes to church, people come to church. They say the politicians come to church. As a priest, I must try as much as possible to be neutral, not to say that I belong to this party or to encourage one party at the expense of another party.
Meanwhile, in a phone interview, Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ General Secretary Emmanuel Chikoya, has also frowned on the act.
Our position is that we do well to just treat everyone in the same way, without giving prominence to some of these political players. Just imagine if you were to give all the 16 potential political parties space in the church, there will be chaos in the church. And so the pulpit must be used for preaching the gospel.
In a separate interview, another clergyman, Bishop Joseph Kajila, has expressed a different view.
So I do not understand why people raise eyebrows when the church comes and begin to talk about certain things that involve the welfare of the people. Because Proverbs chapter 31 verse 8 and 9 is encouraging someone who is an authority that speak for those who cannot speak for themselves. So that is the role of the church. Is that not politics? Politics is touching the welfare of the people. How we have to govern ourselves and how we have to develop as a people.
Zambia awaits the outcome of the various upcoming by-elections. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Zambia National Education Coalition ZANEC Executive Director George Hamusunga has urged young girls to take advantage of the free education policy and not rush into marriage, especially those in rural areas. In a statement, in an interview rather, with Camnet TV, Mr. Hamzunga says most girls in selected parts of the country focus on marriage instead of education, an issue he says remains worrisome. Meanwhile, Mr. Hamzunga has also advised the current administration to come on board in support of schoolgirls with friendly facilities that will ensure that more girls return back to school.
That has been, declared from ECE to secondary education. What we want to see is that this free education brings more girls in schools, and it allows these girls to stay in schools. And therefore, what we are calling for government is that they really need to support these schools with girl-friendly, facilities that will ensure that we retain our children. It is also incumbent upon, the schools to ensure that, they provide the required support that will support the retention of these children in schools. But more importantly also, I think we need a lot of, sensitization, especially among parents, even among the learners themselves, to ensure that children can start valuing education and know that they do not need to play with the opportunity once given. They need to take this opportunity and ensure that they remain in school. We are a very privileged country, especially that we have the re-entry policy as well, which allows those girls who may have gotten pregnant to be able to come to school. But what schools should be focusing on also is to help prevent pregnancies among our girls so that we don't lose them in the system.
The Civil Servants and Allied Workers Union of Zambia has welcomed the government's decision to come up with a strategy of domestic debt dismantling, as this will see all civil servants who are owed personal emoluments such as settling in allowances and leave benefits being paid. In an interview, Union General Secretary Makai says civil servants have for a long time been demanding for personal emoluments to be paid, as government had accrued huge arrears over the past few years. He has also advised government to make sure that all payments are made in due time going forward to prevent the creation of another backlog. Minister of Information and Media Chushi Kasanda on Monday, in a press statement, announced a cabinet's approval to dismantle domestic debt arrears, which will include personal emoluments owed to the civil servants.
This should not just be a pronouncement made from a cabinet decision, but we should see action following. And we want to urge that as these monies will continue to be provided to the ministries and the other spending agencies, it's very important that us as unions are involved to make sure that we know who was owed and we know who has been paid. This is a very good action that government has taken, because we are all talking about investing for the future. And one obvious thing which we have seen is that most of us as government workers are highly indebted. So if these liabilities, if these moments which we are owed by government are paid out, long service bonus, people from 2012 when long service bonus was abolished, a lot of people have not been paid their long service bonus, and some of them have become destitute because they've retired without getting their long service bonus. So all these monies, if they are paid to these workers, this will help the workers to come up with strategies on how to prudently invest this money so that it can be of help to them and their families going forward.
Finally, in the news, Kabata Constituency Member of Parliament Andrew Tayengwa says approval of Constituency Development Fund projects have begun in Kabata State, starting with the projects from the 2021. Speaking to Camnet News, Mr. Tayengwa says skills development training and bursaries approval is already underway, with about 253 shortlisted from 500 applicants in skills training and IET selected in bursaries. He says there are plans to upgrade Kamwala clinics to a hospital in order to decongest Chilenge Level 1 Hospital. Meanwhile, Chilenge Ward 8 Area Councillor Ruben Mwenya says approved projects are expected to commence in the space of 2 weeks.
The United Party for National Development, UPND, since attaining office in 2021, had announced the increase in Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation from 1.6 million kwacha to 25.7 million kwacha slated for in the 2022 national budget. However, concerns have been that despite government stating that there is enough money to spearhead developmental projects at constituency level, there has been a series of drawbacks in the actualization of constituency-funded projects. There has been calls to decentralize decision-making at council level, as procurement process for these funds has been said to be too long to enable efficiency, and this has caused stakeholders, especially from opposition political parties, to question the authenticity of the CDF allocated funds. Wednesday, 3rd of August 2022, earlier Member of Parliament for Kabwata constituency Andrew Tayengwa says Kabwata constituency has begun approving some projects to be undertaken under the CDF, starting with projects from 2021. He says they have started approving some skills development training projects and bursary schemes with about 253 shortlisted from the 500 who applied for the same training.
And of course, CDF, what we've done, we've had the school bursaries and the skills development bursaries approved. We had about 500 applicants for skills development. Then what we approved, I think about 253, somewhere there. Then for school bursaries, we had a total of about 200 and something. Then about 83 were approved for those CDF 2022.
And speaking when it toured Chilenje Level 1 Hospital to donate cleaning chemicals, Mr. Tayengwa says there are also plans to upgrade Kamola Health Post in order to decongest Chilenje Hospital.
Some clinics, I'm glad to tell you that also there are some clinics that we need also to upgrade. For instance, the Kamola Health Post. God willing, because we're in touch with other people that are willing to sponsor if we could put up a first-level hospital again, so that we can have two first-level hospital in Kabwata constituency. We only have Chilenje, so we need to have another one so that we can try and decongest this one. So we are in talks with the sponsors, and we've already adopted the drawings for material first-level hospital. In due course, I'll be able to give you more information.
And Chilenje Ward 8 Councillor Ruben Munya has also added his voice.
100, then the driveway, the paving, about 450 somewhere there.
And that's CDF?
That is CDF, yeah. So the ablution, it is under the 2021 CDF. Then for the driveway and the wall fence, the fencing, because we are also fencing the hospital, we want to demarcate. There's a bit of encroachment, so we need to secure these premises. So even the wall fence together, wall fence and the driveway, it's costing about 600-700 kwacha for the 2022 CDF. But for the ablution, which I think the contractor will be on site maybe in 2 weeks' time from now, it's under the 2021. Yeah.
Messi Chanika reporting for Camnet TV News in Lusaka.
Well, that's all we had for the midday news. The headlines once again. Confusion erupts as census applicants overwhelm ZAMSTATS in Petaoke district. Government urged not to employ a UPND cadre as Chief Electoral Officer. Well, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Join us again for our main news at 19:30 this evening.